Hello, Frauke.
Mr. Badu, about the kind
Hello.
of assessment for the presentation.
I saw you already here, but I couldn't hear your voices. Frauke.
I'm sorry. For the assessment point.
Yeah, I cannot hear the voice. The voice is not there. Yeah.
Sorry. I reply, Mr. Badu. Actually, for the assessment point of the presentation, it will be given directly by the PIC.
You hear me better?
Yes, now we can hear very clearly. It's very nice to see you. How are you?
Oh, good, very. How are you?
We are fine as well, but because of the pandemic and we are in the on-site, so we need to wear the mask.
Yeah, in Ifremer we wear the mask as well, yeah. I'm at home, but it's like, yeah.
So I will be in the Prof Mark room, in the room number 5. Yeah, I will have presentation also there. So please enjoy the conference. Hopefully you have a very nice discussion in this session in this room.
Yeah, thank you. You too. I hope everything will be okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see you later on.
Yeah, see you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Frauke.
Hello.
I'm moderator in this room. Yeah, maybe we will start at 1:30 p.m. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
How was
problem.
there, Dr. Froke? Is it
Yeah.
how was there? What time is there now?
We're 8:25 in the morning.
Okay,
Yeah.
morning. Yes. Okay, yeah. We'll wait some participants for joining.
Okay, so at 8:30 we'll start.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll be back then.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this great event, the 10th International Conference on Multidisciplinary Research, ICMR, in conjunction with the second International and National Symposium on Aquatic Environment and Fisheries, 2021. Okay, my name is Siska Melissa. I will be serving as your moderator today. So before we start this oral presentation, we have the invited speaker here. Good afternoon, Dr. Frauke Klingenhaver.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Honorable Dr. Frauke Klingenhaver as invited speaker and all participants. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow us to introduce our invited speaker. So, Dr. Frauke Klingenhaver has a job now in Ivory-Mer, yeah, and she also has some research about oceanography. I read it's many research here, and for example, in 2021, she has researched about ongoing inversion of a passive margin, spatial variability of strain markers along the Algerian margin and basin, Mediterranean Sea, and seismotectonic implications. Okay, now let me to give the Dr. Frauke to present her research. Okay, thank you, Dr. Frauke. The time is yours. Yeah.
Do you show?
I will share.
Do you share your screen with the slide?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. Sorry. Yeah, I will share. Okay. Yeah, this is the file, right?
Yes, that's the file. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, yeah, I just start. So I'm from Ifremer, and in this talk, I wanted to a little bit show what our institute is like, and also then talk about some projects we've done in the last years in the Caribbean. Next slide, please.
Yes.
Okay, so Ifremer is a public institute, but it has an industrial and commercial character. So we also do projects with the industry. We have about 1,500 employees in Ifremer, and Genevieve, who is sort of manning our vessels, they have 350 employees. There's 5 centers, which are mostly in France, but also in Tahiti. And there's 14 coastal stations in France and in the overseas department. So we also have in Guyana and in the Antilles some people. And we depend on the ministries of research, industry, and commerce. And the yearly budget is about 240 million euros. So next slide, please. Okay, this is the vessels that Ifremer is organizing. We have 3 high sea vessels, which is Pourquoi, Atalante, and Thalassa, and then smaller vessels, which are in the Mediterranean and so on, in the smaller seas, which are Europe, Taya, and Atea. And we have a very small, on the bottom of the screen, a very small vessel which can actually be loaded onto a truck and then go and do studies on the beach, along the beach. Next slide, please. We also have some AUVs, and we still have Nautil, which is a manned submersible, which goes up to 4,000 meters now. We have an ROV, which is called Victor, which goes up to 6,000 meters. And we have, of course, some test basins in Brest and in Toulon where we can test our instruments. Next slide, please. So basically, why do we want to study the Antilles? First of all, of course, because there's part of the Antilles is a French subduction zone, and most of all quakes on Earth are generated in subduction zones. And we had some fairly large earthquakes in the Antilles, which was in 1839 on the Martinique and in 1843 in Guadeloupe. The Antilles are an end-member subduction. It's very slow. It's only 2 centimeters per year, and that creates very long, quiet periods. The objectives of our studies were quite different. So there's the extension of the territorial waters, which is the law of the sea. And of course, there's the seismological and tsunamigenic hazard of the region that we want to explore. We want to have a better knowledge of the geometry of the interplate contact and understand the influence of the subduction in the seismicity. Okay, next slide, please. So shown here is a map of the Antilles. The white lines are the tectonic faults and the colored dots are earthquakes. The color shows the depth. And we can see that the form is like an amphitheater, and we have a frontal subduction in the south, and the more we go to the north, the subduction will be more and more oblique. And then if you go to the greater Antilles, like Haiti and Puerto Rico, it'll be a transform fault. Okay, next slide, please. This was one of the first cruises we had, which was done for the law of the sea, really. It was called Anti-Plug in 2007, and we recorded bathymetry and high-resolution seismic data, as well as magnetic and gravity data. So next slide, please. Here you can see some of the seismic sections, which are crossing the Barracuda Ridge. You can see in the little inset the location of the profiles. So one of the things which we saw is that the plate boundary between the North and the South American plate here actually is a fairly large zone and not just a very thin border. It's at least 200 kilometers wide, and there's some compression between the two plates since 2.3 million years. Okay, next slide. In 2017, we went back to the Antilles, but this time we were interested in the Grenada back arc basin. This basin was created by the rollback of the subduction between Aves Ridge and the today active arc. So we had the we acquired data along 3 wide-angle seismic sections, and we can see they are shown in green, and they have the instruments are shown by green dots. So they are seismometers which we put onto the seafloor. The other lines are from earlier cruises. Okay, next slide, please. So here is some of the resulting velocity models that we've produced from these 3 profiles. The seismic velocity is shown by the different colors. So the red shows like mantle velocities and the blue shows sedimentary velocities. They are contoured every 0.25 kilometer per second, and the black lines show the layer boundaries. The shaded areas are where the rays from the modeling have passed, so they are better constrained. The rest is constrained by gravity only. So what we found is that the Grenada Basin is very asymmetric. If you look at profile, the last profile, the bottommost profile, this might be due to the influence of the today active arc, or it might be just the sediment income, which makes it very asymmetric. The boundary between the arc and the basin is fairly steep, so it probably opened a little bit in a transform opening. And the arc itself is about 30 kilometers thick. It probably hasn't been always submerged, and there might have been, for example, animals which migrated from North to South America along this Aves Ridge. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, the next cruise, well, it actually was a cruise before. It's the Antilles cruise in 2013. We also deployed here, they are the yellow dots, some seismic stations on the sea floor, and we had some seismic profiles without any OBS on them. In 2013, where we wanted to study the seismogenic zone and see the influence of this increasing of the obliqueness of the subduction on the seismicity, because there's less earthquakes in this corner. Unfortunately, a shark bit into our seismic streamer, so we had actually only very few seismic data, which is the black lines, which you can see. So next slide, please. Here's some of the data, which you can see the red profile in the location map. You can see the plate which is going down underneath the island arc. And what we can see in the red bounded seismic profile is that here the downgoing oceanic plate is fairly curious. You have thick reflectors which are actually trending towards the mid-ocean ridge, and which would reach down up to 15 kilometers into the mantle, which is very amazing because oceanic crust normally only has about 6 kilometers in thickness. So what we propose is that it's not really a magmatic oceanic crust which is being subducted here, but mainly exhumed mantle material, which was exhumed at slow accretion at the mid-ocean ridge, mid-Atlantic ridge, and is here getting into the subduction. Now, this exhumed mantle material would be peridotite and has very high content of water and might very well influence the seismicity of the region. So we propose to go back to the area. Next slide, please. Which is a cruise which is called Monterey, which is scheduled in 2022, May, June next year, where we want to go and study this region in a 3D experiment with lots of, here it's the red dots, lots of ocean bottom seismometers, do some wide angle seismic work, some reflection seismic work, and then study 2 mud volcanoes in a much more detailed work to sort of see if the returning fluids are different in this region than in other regions where you have normal oceanic crust, which would be going down. So next slide, please. So in 2010, I just have a look at, yeah. In 2010, we went, after the large earthquake, we went to Haiti and we deployed some seismometers, just passive seismometers to record the aftershocks. Next slide, please. You can see them as pink dots here. Yeah. So we calculated the aftershock positions, and we saw that the main results that the Enriquillo Plantain Garden Fault was in its last phase of the seismological cycle, so it would burst, and that the earthquake has reactivated some faults along this system. We would have liked to do a second deployment now after the earthquake this summer, but we didn't have any instruments available. So next slide, please. We do propose another project, which is priority 1, but will probably not happen before 2023 or 2024, which would be to acquire wide-angle seismic data along 4 long transects to study the 2 transform faults in Haiti. This would be in the first leg, just wide-angle seismics, and then in the second leg, again, do more detailed studies like heat flow and fine high-resolution seismics and coring during the second leg. And this would be, yeah, next slide, please. This would all be in the with a long-term, very long-term goal to have a drill there, to go and drill close to the fault to be able to see how it works. This would be a IODP proposition which has been submitted once, but which we haven't yet resubmitted because we just don't have enough data to really do a good proposal. So we are now first trying to do some land work and maybe go and look at the lake, which is along the fault as well. So that's a bit an overview of what we have done and what we are trying to do. And so please, if you have any questions, no problem at all.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Dr. Frauke. It's very interesting topic. Yeah, it's about earthquake. Yeah, maybe anyone to ask question? You can ask directly to Dr. Frauke. Yeah.
Don't hesitate.
Yes. Don't hesitate. Yeah, you can ask anything about the marine earthquake. Yeah, because in Indonesia it's very common with earthquake. Yeah.
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 We also went to Indonesia well in 2005 and 2006. Yeah, after the big earthquake.
Yeah,
so
after tsunami.
Yeah. So yeah, and there were lots of earthquakes. We felt them on the ship, like you can hear it even on the ship.
Yeah.
It was very, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody? Anyone? Have any question? It's okay. You can ask Dr. Frauke. Yeah.
You can also, if you have questions later, you can always send me a mail.
Yes.
Or if you're interested in coming to France, there's actually quite a lot of possibilities of Indonesian students to come for a couple of months or come and do PhD or so. Yeah. So you can always contact me and I can try to find out.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Frauke. It's very interesting.
Yeah, no.
Yes. Okay, so now you have research in Haiti. Yeah.
Yeah, we try to.
Okay.
And probably we will go on the ship in 2023.
Okay. Yeah.
And next year we will be going to offshore Guadeloupe and Martinique to the Antilles.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Yeah, maybe if you don't have question now, or maybe later you have question, you can email Dr. Froke. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Dr. Froke Kinyahavar. We still have oral presentation, Dr. Froke. If you have time or you are free, you can join. You can still join. But if you have another work, it's okay. If you are not joining, yeah, it's okay. It's up to you. It's free. Yes.
We will have to go to work now.
Okay, it's
like
okay, Dr. Froke.
But I'll have a look later on. Yes.
Thank you very
at
much,
work.
Dr. Froke, for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe good morning in France, right? Good morning in France.
Yeah, that's right. It's 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me,
Yeah.
and see you later. Bye.
Yes. Bye. Thank you, Dr. Froke. Okay. So we already heard about the presentation of Dr. Froke Klingenhauer, our invited speaker from France. Yeah, it's very interesting topic, yeah, about oceanography, earthquake. And now maybe we will go to the oral presentation, oral session. So before we start, I want to inform you the time limit for oral presenter is only 10 minutes, and there will be 7 minutes for presentation and maybe about 3 minutes for discussion. But for discussion, we will open after 3 presenters. Okay, so each 3 presenters will open the discussion. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Now we can directly move to the first presenter of this session. Okay, so the first presenter for this session is Mr. Asep Hamzah. Yeah, Mr. Asep Hamzah, is already here?
Yes, I'm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The time is yours.
Can I share presentation by myself?
Okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Is my presentation visible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good noon, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Asep Hamzah. I'm from Universitas Sultan Agung Tirtayasa, Banten, from Fisheries Science. I will presentation my research about fishing port, specifically titled about significant environmental aspect analysis on Karangantu Archipelago fishing port in Banten province. Today's global demands, fishing port are encouraged to become environmentally friendly fishing port or eco-fishing port. Why? Because fishing port must be optimized for their function because they are the spearhead and prime mover in the management and utilization of fishery resource and their environment, starting from pre-production, production, processing, and then the last one, marketing. Why I choose Karangantu? Karangantu is the biggest type fishing port in Banten province. Also have a central role in the development of capture fisheries. And then this fishing port able to help Banten province in supplying fish protein, which is about more than 60% In addition, PPN Karangantu also has a strategic position, which is close to the commercial ports, Merak and Cilegon, Soekarno-Hatta International Airport for export, and then PPS Nizam Zaman in Jakarta as the largest fishing port in Indonesia. This strategic assistance encourages business actors to sell their caught fish to the fish market at PPS Nizam Zaman. One of the concepts that will be applied by Minister of Marine Fisheries is the eco-fishing port, which adopt the concept of European Union countries in managing the port environment. To increase quality of fishery production by adhering to the principle of biosecurity and traceability of the product produced. Currently, actually, there are 6 fishing ports that I prioritize to implement eco-fishing port, including PPS Nizam Zaman, Kendari, Bitung, Cilacap, Bungus, and Pelabuhan Ratu. There is no PPN Karangantu. However, this port declared as an environmentally friendly fishing port. Based on the previous research, it's known that more than 50% of the fish caught by PPN Karangantu are sent to Jakarta, and then after that they sell to abroad. It is necessary to investigate whether the implementation of the eco-fishing port in PPN Karangantu is accordant with the guidelines from ESCO. This research was conducted at PPN Karangantu, and I use case study method on port environmental at PPN Karangantu. I was collecting my data by in-depth interview with fisherman and port manager, and then after that, data were analyzed using Sesi as strategic overview of significant environmental aspect. The result show us 3 aspects, a significant aspect that impact on port activity. First, energy consumption, which score 4.1, and then water pollution 4.3, and then labor absorption 4.0. For energy consumption, why I choose this, or the result so this for the aspect is about because all activity in PPN Karangantu is still using electricity from fossil fuel, and then there is not enough effort to make alternative energy as a source of electricity. And then about labor absorption, the port is the center of economic activity in Karangantu, not only about selling fish, but also development of culinary sector and then tourism. If you look at the picture, PPN Karangantu is located along the river, where there are many activities ranging from traditional market, traditional fish processing. In addition, along the river has also been used by community as a very dense residential area. This condition indirectly causes pressure on the ecosystem and produce garbage or waste or household waste, also solid or liquid waste. Even the impact of existence of tourism activity around PPN Karangantu, such as mangrove tourism and Gope beach tourism, which causes the development of other economic activity, such as restaurants or other which of cause produce waste.
Sorry, Mr. Asep.
Yes.
It's 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Okay.
Water pollution caused by community activities, tourism activities, and port activities, of course, And why this is happen? The low awareness of public not to throw garbage into the river also is an obstacle for prevent Karangatu and in controlling environmental drainage system that is not very good because of a lot of water that comes from washing fish doesn't flow and pulls in the gutter. People are still thinking simply distribute all liquid waste into the river without any treatment first. Actually, there are many regulation in Indonesia, which is rules about water pollution, employment, and energy consumption is good for this condition, but the implementation is still low. So the conclusion of this research is there are three aspects that are important to improve: waste production, employment, and waste management and energy consumption. These three aspects must be priority for Penkarang to manager in carrying out every plan, program, and activity to realize sport management with the ecosystem port concept. Broadly speaking, waste production is carried out through monitoring cleanliness and other in all port operational area. Maybe that's all, Ms. Rizka. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Asep, for your interesting research. Yeah, for discussion, maybe we postpone to after the three presenters. Okay, so now we move to the second presenter, Miss Mainisa. Miss Mainisa. Okay. Okay. Maybe next time. For the third presenter, Miss Farah Diana. Miss Farah Diana.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear it. So I will share the screen.
Can I share
Oh,
my
okay.
own?
It's okay if you want to share.
So before I want to say sorry, Miss, because we are in team. So our leader is Miss Farah.
Yeah.
Cannot make it here. So I am a member of the team. So I am Giovanni. So I'm going to present. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Please, Miss Fanny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so good day, ladies and gentlemen. So now I'm going to present our research. It's about rice, rice productivity, and Minapadi farming business analysis in Lego systems and endemic fish. So actually there are three of us, and we're from Tengku Umar University, Malabo, West Aceh. So here are our research background. So why do we create such kind of research? The reason is because the limited area of production for various fields of fisheries business, and also due to the increasing population, whether it is the population of people or other creatures. So we think it is necessary to make effort to utilize existing land through intensification. So one way that can be done is through Minapadi system. So Minapadi itself is the farming of fish and rice simultaneously. So both are done simultaneously. That is the concept. So according to Jambi Agriculture Research and Development Center at 2013, good rice growth is carried out by 2-to-1 and 4-to-1 Lego system. And the fish that we farm here is Serukan fish and giant prawn. And according to Aceh Marine and Fisheries Department at 2015, these fish which is the seserukan fish and also giant prawns, are endemic fish in Aceh. So both are only found in Aceh. So that's why we try to connect these three aspects and create such kind of research. And then here are our research method. So this research is a kind of experimental method with two factorial completely randomized design, or CRD, which is repeated 3 times. And here we have Lego system 2-to-1 and also Lego system 4-to-1. Sorry, 4-to-1. In which the serukan fish and the giant prawn seeds are scattered. So we have two factors here. The first factor, A1, which is Lego system 2-to-1, A2, Lego system 4-to-1, and the second factor, B1, giant prawn, B2, serukan fish. So the treatment combination, A1B1, A1B2, and then we have A2B1, and also we have A2B2 for the treatments. And here are the research findings. So the first finding is there is an analysis of the highest giant prawn growth were in A2B2 treatment, which is the Legowo 4-to-1 with giant prawns, and the lowest was in A1B1, in which the Legowo in 2-to-1 with giant prawns. And the second findings, the result analysis growth of the highest serukan fish were in the A2B2 treatment, in which the Legowo 4-to-1 with the serukan fish, and the lowest in A1B2 treatment, in which the Legowo 2-to-1 with serukan fish. And the average yield of rice was 5 kilograms per plot. We see that the highest giant prawn growth are assumed because the nature of the prawn itself. They are usually silent at the bottom of the water, so it fits with Legowo 4-to-1. Meanwhile, with the serukan fish, it fits with 4-to-1 Legowo, so it was suspected that the protection from the Legowo 4-to-1 is more optimal than Legowo 2-to-1. And in conclusion, we conclude that based on our research, Legowo mani-padi system has an effect on the growth of giant prawns and serukan fish. The 4-to-1 Lego treatment and giant prawns produce an average value of rice productivity of 5 kilograms per plot, and the average growth rate of giant prawns was 3.62 grams per fish. Okay, I think that's all the presentation. Thank you, Mrs. Ka.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Fanny, for your presentation. Okay, maybe I will call the previous presenter again, Ms. Mainisa. Ms. Mainisa, are you already here? Okay. Mr. Mahendra.
Mrs. Ka. Yeah, I think it's gonna be me again.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah. You can.
Yeah, because we are on the same team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it okay, Mrs. Ka?
Yeah, it's okay. It's funny.
Okay, so I will share my own.
Okay.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our second research is about the effect of different stock densities on the performance of giant prawns, Macrobasium rosenbergi, and rice production in the Minapadi system. So why do we create such kind of study? It's because the giant prawn itself, because the nature of giant prawn. So a giant prawn are freshwater prawn that are large in size and have high economic value. So we underline high economic value here. And these kind of prawns are also easy to be farmed. So in general, giant prawns are farmed either in pond or also in tank. Meanwhile, in Aceh area especially, there is no prawn farm in the Minapadi system. And then that's why we come to Minapadi system, because as far as we know, no one has farmed prawn in Minapadi system. So Minapadi system, as I mentioned in our previous presentation, it is the farming of fish and rice simultaneously. So both, again, they are done simultaneously. So in the Minapadi system, the cultivators of the system do not yet have a maximum stocking density for growth. Therefore, we interested in investigating the stock densities, different of stock densities on the performance of giant prawns in the Minapadi system. So here are our research method. So this research was done in Langong village, Pantai Cermin district, West Aceh. So this design is completely randomized design with 3 treatments and 3 replication. So as I said earlier, we have 3 treatments. So for treatment number 1, P1 with stock density 100 fish per plot, P2 with stock density 200 fish per plot, and P3 with stock density 300 fish per plot. And here are our procedure in carried out this research. So for the first one, we did land preparation or tillage. So in land preparation was done to make the soil loose and have good nutrients. So this activity is carried out before planting the rice. And then the second step is kemalir making. Kemalir making was done for fish farming and also make it easier before harvesting. And then the third procedure is planting lines making to make it easier before we plant the rice. And then rice seed preparation. Seedling were sown for 15 days and then planted. The seeds used are seeds that are resistant to standing water. And next, rice planting. Rice was planted in 2 up to 3 stalks with a spacing of 12 centimeters. And next, fish scattering. Fish are scattered at the edge of 30 days of rice after fertilization. So these prawn are scattered in the afternoon to avoid stress. And the stocking density was carried out according to the treatment. And the last step is harvesting. So harvesting was carried out after 100 days or for about 3 months. And after we finish all the procedure, then we collect the data. So here are the findings. For the first one, it's about prawn growth. Sorry, we missed prawn here. Prawn growth for number 1. So the result of the growth of the giant prawn we mentioned earlier in each treatment and replication for 90 days of rearing period. The lowest growth in the study was P3 treatment with a value of 2.36%. Meanwhile, the highest growth of giant prawn in P2 treatment with a value of 4.72%. The result of this study related to giant prawn growth indicate that different stocking densities in the Minapadi system play a role in supporting the growth of giant prawns. So we can conclude that stocking density of P2 treatment is more effective. And then related to rice productivity. So productivity itself is the process of converting factors of production into a product. So in our study, the highest rice productivity was P1 treatment with a value of 5 kilogram per plot, while the lowest is P3 treatment, in which we only got for about 4 kilogram per plot. So high productivity of rice in P1 treatment is suspected because the food given were not consumed by the giant prawn. So they were accumulated and become fertilizer and then absorbed by the rice plant.
Okay, Ms. Fanny. Yeah. It's
Okay.
only 1 minute left. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Ka, for reminding me. So in conclusion, different stocking densities in our research affect the growth of giant prawn with the best stocking density of 200 fish per plot resulted in the growth of giant prawns of 4.72%, and the average rice productivity is 5 kilogram per plot. Okay, so that's our presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Ka.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Giovanni, for presenting your research. Yeah, maybe after 3 presenters, we open the discussion. If you have any question, you can ask directly to Mr. Asep or Ms. Giovanni. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, do you have any questions? Okay. Yeah, maybe we will move to the next presenter directly.
Okay,
Yeah.
may I ask
Okay.
some question
Okay.
for the
Yeah.
last presenter?
Yeah, Turtumbra.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Prama Hartami. I would like ask some question based on how based on your research, how much the maximum production of this giant prawn in each meter square in Minapadi area? I think that's all.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Giovanni, you can answer the question now.
Okay, so based on our, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So based on our research, overall, the maximum production of giant prawn in each, the maximum one is 250 kilogram per 200 kilograms per per 50 centimeters area. So the maximum production is 200 per 50 meters area.
200 kilograms. You mean 200 kilograms? No.
No, 200.
200 individual.
Miss Fanny, you are in mute.
No, yeah, not kilograms, sir. I mean 200 200 pounds, not kilogram.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Miss Fanny and Mr. Prama. So there is another question for our presenter. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Giovanni and Mr. Asep, for the informative presentation. Okay, now we go to the next presenter, Mr. Prama Hartami. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Prama, do you want to share, or I can share your PPT?
Yes, may I share
Okay.
my slide?
Okay.
My own?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, this Mr. Yeah.
Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the opportunity given by the committee and also the participants of Insight 2021 to me to present the research result with the title Increased Production of Catfish through Accelerated Rematuration of Female Stock using Induction of Natural and Hormonal Materials. Okay, before I present my slide, first I want to say apologize because the video is not good. I hope it's not be a problem. Okay, the authors of this scientific paper is me, Rama Hartami, and Mahdaliana, and also Eva Ayuzar. All of us are from Universitas Malik Saleh. We know that one of the things that determine hatchery activities is guaranteeing the continuity of seed production. But the existence of obstacles in terms of the continuity can be caused by handling stock farm condition outside the optimal range, the environment, especially outside of the spawning season, does not support normal gonadal development. And also spawning season media is not same as natural conditions such as temperature, substrate, water quality, the existence of pheromone, photoperiod, water depth, water current, abundance, stress, and so on. So this has an impact on gonad maturation is not uniform. Fish cannot spawn or spawning irregular or asynchronous, so that seed production is not optimal. So this has an impact on, this can impact on gonad maturation is not uniform, as like I said before. For this reason, it is necessary to manipulate the gonadal maturation process by adding of hormonal and natural ingredients to the broodstock feed. This research activity was carried out on August and to November 2020. Materials that we will use is OODEP hormone, big plastic bucket, turmeric powder, shearing, CNC binder, digital scale, sprayer, and plastic. This is our treatment as shown in the slide. There are 4 treatments, including the control. And the procedure is formulated the broodstock feed, and then remuneration treatment, including first spawning and applied feed treatments, sampling, second spawning after remuneration treatment, and larva growing, and the last was data analysis. The result of this research are divided into 3 main parts. First, broodstock reproductive performance, which include gonadosomatic index, how long rematuration period, egg diameter, and fecundity. All of these parameters have a significant effect on treatment day, I mean. Namely the applied of OODEP hormone and turmeric flow combination. The second part is spawning performance and seed growth. First parameters is fertilization rate, hatching rate, and specific growth rate of seed body length also had a significant effect on treatment day, except for growth in length, which had the same value for all seed in each treatment. The last part is specifically that seed production performance is survival rate with a value of 83.17%, meaning that there is an increase in seed production about 29.87% compared the control treatment. Okay. The result of this study showed that the combination of feed, hormone induction, and natural material containing phytosterol and curcumin was able to improve the body's metabolic performance and stimulate the secretion of gonadotropin hormone, maximizes the synthesis of pituitary, and maintain liver performance during the pituitary synthesis process. So it has a positive impact on to optimization of reproduction performance, improve spawning performance and gamete quality, and accelerate rematuration and increase seed production. The activity of observing the growth performance of catfish resulting from broodstock by adding ODEP, turmeric flour, and this combination to the feed is the first published observation compared to the previous researches with the same object. Previous research was limited to observing the reproductive performance of the broodstock and the quality of the egg produced. Okay. From the result of this study, it can be concluded that feed enrichment with the addition of ODEP and turmeric flour can accelerate the rematuration and reproduction performance of catfish. A simple suggestion that we can recommend is to application this treatment to other cultivated fish communities. Finally, I would like to thank to LPPM Universitas Bangku Saleh as a research grant funder. Okay, thank you for the attention of all participants. Sorry if there are any shortcomings. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I return to the host. Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Pramaharkami, for your research. Okay, next we move to the next presenter, Mr. Muklisin.
Ya, Bu Siska.
Ya, ya Pak.
The slide of Pak Prama.
Oh iya. Okay, Mr. Prama, you can stop share.
Okay.
Okay, Prof. Muklisin, do you want to share by yourself or?
Yeah, already.
Okay, yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm Muklisin from Shakala University. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to present our study, especially on Indonesian mahsir or Tortumbra, especially for Tortumbra. Actually, we have done some study on this species. In this presentation, I would like to overview all of our study on Tor. First introduction, as we know that the development of aquaculture activity in Aceh, I think growing very well, but unfortunately most of the fish target used in aquaculture in Aceh are alien species or introduced species. Therefore, I think we have to switch from the introduced species or alien species to our native species. One of the group of fish that have promising candidate for aquaculture business is Tor. or in Aceh we call curling, but in some area maybe they have the other local name. The information on bioecology and native species is very crucial, very important to use, yeah, to study. To study before this species can be used for aquaculture activity. This information is useful, for example, to develop feeding technology, breeding and rearing technology. Introduction to mahsir. They already mentioned that the local name, there is some local name of the tor. For example, in Java, they call Tambra or Sapaan. In Malaysia, they call Semah. In Central Aceh, they call Pedi. And mostly in Aceh, we call Kereling or Jurung. The mahsir is already known as the king of the river, because this fish is one of the bigger fish in river and also have very expensive price. In general, we have there is 51 species of tor around the world, where 20 species in Asia, and at least 4 species are occurring in Indonesia. They are Tortumbra, Tortumbra, Torduoronensis, and Tortumbra. And in Aceh we have two species only, Tortumbra and Tortumbra. This is the picture of the tor that found in Aceh. We have 2 species. The above is Tortumbra, and the below is Tortumbra. Between these 2 species, Tortumbra is most frequently found, and also their distribution also wide. In this study, in this presentation, I would like also share about our study on genetic, the taxonomic diversity of genus tor in Aceh. We have sampling around Aceh, and based on the genetic data, we conclude that only 2 species of tor. Previously, we think we have 3 species, but based on genetic data, there is only 2 species, namely Tortumbra and Tortumbra. From this genetic tree, we can see that the first clade is Tortumbra. They have 2 sister clade, and then the different clade is Tortumbra. Okay, the other study we have conducted is about the domestication of broodstock, because before we start for rearing activity, we have to domesticate the broodstock. It means that the broodstock come from wild, and then we domesticate in aquaculture pond. In this study, we use 2 techniques of domestication. In the first group, fish reared by the other fish that have already fed on artificial feed. In this case, we use common fish, Cyprinus carpio, and then the other group, we reared the fish without sparring partner. The sparring partner means that we culture the fish, or we reared the fish with the other species that already can eat artificial feed. And the study showed that the fish domesticated using feeding partner gave higher survival rate compared without feeding partner. Yeah, the conclusion of the study. Therefore, when we want to culture the fish, we have to start with the domestication using feeding partner. because the limitation of time, I just deliver the conclusion, I think, yeah. And then the next study is about feeding. This one actually the bioecology of the fish, the feeding habit and language relationship, the relationship of Tor into rivers of Aceh, especially in West Coast. From this study, we have capture 40x fish and in one river, and then 38 fish in the other rivers, and then we try to analyze the stomach content of the fish, and then we conclude that the fish fed on algae and earthworm. It means that the algae is the predominant feed for Tor. Indicate of the fish is actually the herbivore. The other study is about the parasite in Turtumbra. Firstly, is about ectoparasite in Tor. Mostly of the fish already infested by Lernia. Actually, yeah. In this study, we compare Tor from aquaculture pond and then Tor from wild. The conclusion is the Tor from aquaculture pond is already has already infected by ectoparasite, especially Lernia and Argulus. And then,
okay, sorry, Prof. Conclusion is 1 minute left. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, there is some, not many, yeah, but some study already done. So, okay, I think I have to skip which one is important. This one is study about the nutrition of fish. In this study, we use vitamin to boost the growth of the Tor of the curling. We find that the best concentration of vitamin E is 150 milligram per kilogram of feed. And then this one, in this study, we also use enzyme to enhance the growth rate of the crawling fish, because in the first experiment, they already mentioned that the fish can be induced by addition of vitamin A, and then the next experiment we add also papain. Yeah? In this study, we conclude that when the fish fed on papain with the 25.5 milligram per kilogram can give the best achievement of growth rate. And then this one, besides we use enzyme, we also use probiotic to enhance the growth rate of the fish. And then in this study, we conclude that when we add 10 milliliter of a probiotic, can get the best achievement of growth rate, survival, and feed utilization. And then this one, I think this one the last study, the last one. In this study, we also try to analyze the protein requirement for this species. We based on this study, we conclude that the fish can grow very well when we feed with 30% of protein. We also try to spawning this species at this space, and but unfortunately, the survival rate of larva is very low. and then I think already finished. That's
Yeah.
all. Thank you, Bu Siska.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Christine, for present your interesting research. Okay, maybe we move to the next presenter, Mr. Rahmatul Fajri.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, yes. You want to share your screen?
I try to share firstly.
Okay.
Okay, I hope my slide show to everyone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
First of all, thank for the committee who for giving me the time and opportunity to present this paper. I am the co-author. Well, I will present the paper with the title Doping Nickel Metal in Zeolitic Imidazole Framework A by using green synthesized method. The zeolitic imidazole framework, or for short ZIF8, is one type of MOF or metal organic framework. ZIF has many advantages, including it has a large surface area, microporous uniform, high crystallinity, and good thermal stability. So with this advantage, this material is widely applied as a material storage, adsorbent, sterilize, and also for sensor. ZIF8 added with nickel metal perform nickel ZIF8. Material will be obtained ZIF8. Then the residual filtrate from the nickel ZIF8 synthesized is reused in the subsequent synthesized as a solvent, and the resulting material is given notized for P1 nickel ZIF8. We synthesize it for several times, and the filtrate we use again for the solvent in the next synthesize step. And this method we know as the green chemistry synthesize method. This the step of synthesize, the laboratory step. We use the zinc nitrate, then nickel chloride and methanol. We combine with the methyl imidazole and TEA and methanol, then stir for 24 hours. The result with decantations, and the final result is here after drying at 120 degrees Celsius in oven. The result, we go to the next analysis step. We use XRD, SEM, and FTIR spectroscopy analysis. This is the result of the X-ray diffraction pattern of nickel ZIF8. The obtain the specific peak intensity, which is a characteristic peak in the of the nickel ZIF8. This is the reference, and this is the product we synthesize. In this graphic, we show the specific peak shown in degree in area. Sorry, in area 7.30, then in 10.34, then in 12.72, and then in 16.36, and at last in 17.82. The same result was obtained from nickel ZIF8, which was synthesized used for the solvent in the synthesized process. Thus, results were compared with the peak of ZIF8 simulation were from graphs. Then next we analyze of FTIR spectroscopy of ZIF8 show the formation of bond zinc and nickel shown in in the area 421 centimeter. Then the searching of CN in 994. Then the searching of C double bond N and C double bond C identify the wave number in 1580. Then the wave number in 760 indicate the presence of CH vibration. The same peak are also show nickel ZIF egg were synthesized with the previous filtrate. Then the next step analysis, we use the scanning electron microscopy to know about the morphology of the material. The morphology analysis using the same imaging for notation P1 and P3 and P6 of nickel ZIF8. The result of microgram showed the cube of morphology of ZIF8 contracted with a tetrahedral structure of zinc 2 plus and 2 metal imidazole ligand. The P1 nickel ZIF8 has the perfect cube morphology and the particle size smaller than ZIF8. It's around 22.66 micrometer, while that the ZIF8 is around 46 micrometer. The figure B and C show the morphology of P3 and P6 of nickel ZIF8 respectively. Both of P3 and P6 have the cube morphology and the particle size around 46.22 to 83.3 micrometer. This result showed the possibility to synthesize nickel ZIF8 using the filtrate from the previous synthesized to reduce the waste of the sulfan that show to the environment. Okay, the conclusion of this research is nickel ZIF8 was successfully synthesized with the reusulfan, and the reusulfan is promising method to synthesize metal organic framework to reduce utilization sulfan in order to green chemistry. That's all for me. Thank you very much. I bring it back to moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rahmatul Fajri, for your presentation. Okay, yes, it's already 3 presenter. We will open the discussion. Okay, anyone to ask the questions about the 3 topics?
Maaf,
Yes.
Miss.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Renaldi, ya. Ya, waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm Rinaldi Vinotra from Universitas Syah Kuala. So I want to ask to Professor Mukhlisin.
Yes.
It's about Tortumbra. So what is the maximum length and weight ever recorded in Aceh, especially in the aquaculture system, sir, for species Tortumbra? And the second one is the size of the aquaculture of Tortumbra different from the wild fish for the maximum size, sir? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Renaldi. Maybe Prof. Mukhlisin, you want to answer now? Yes. Mr. Mukhlisin, you already, yes.
Okay, thank you for the question, Renaldi. The maximum weight of the Tor actually 55 kilogram. Big fish, very big fish in river. Eh? But in Aceh, based on our experience, we only can sample the Tor less than 5 kilogram, less than 5 kilogram. But in the other country, for example, in Malaysia, Yeah, maybe they can grow up to 55 kilogram in the well. Finally,
Okay, but
understand?
okay, sir. But in the second question, is there any difference between maximum size of Tortumbra in aquaculture system and with Tortumbra in the wild, in the river?
Yeah, very good question. Yeah, when we culture the fish, we not only to reach the maximum weight, but we try to culture for the table size. The table size actually, I think about less than 200 gram, less than 200 gram for table size, yeah. Because when we really culture the fish for the biggest one, it is take time, yeah, maybe 2 or 3 years. But we went to culture the fish for table size. We can harvest the fish about 6 to 8 months only.
Okay, sir, I got the point. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Muklisin. Yeah, is there any question for our three speaker? Yeah. Okay, if we don't have questions, we will go to the next presenter. Okay, thank you, Prof. Muklisin, Rahmatul Fajri, and Prama Hartani. Yes. Okay, for the next speaker is Nur Hayati, Professor Nur Hayati. Okay, Professor Nur Hayati.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ya. Bentar ya, wide besar screen-nya. Screen-nya tadi udah disimpan si itu. Simpannya di mana nih, Bu? Simpannya di mana? Ini nih. Ada bacaannya tadi PowerPoint. Ini kan. Sorry, sekarang. Iya, ya itu. Udah, ini share screen. Udah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for opportunity given to me to present my paper. The title is The Effect of Concentration of AB Mix and GPT Solution on the Growth and Production of Mustard Plants in Hydroponic Wick System. Introduction. Mustard plants are known to have high economic value, considering that this vegetable is one of Indonesian main export commodity. However, until now, mustard production has not been able to meet the needs of domestic and foreign market. This is because the average national mustard produce is still very low. The potential yield of mustard grains can reach 40 tons per hectare, while the average mustard yield in Indonesia is 9 tons per hectare. The low production of mustard grains in Indonesia can be caused by several reasons, such as the application of cultivation technology that is either simple or because the land of growing crops is decreasing. As is known, today's industrial development of progressing rapidly. This development has shifted a lot of agricultural land, especially in areas around urban areas. As a result, agricultural land is getting smaller. To overcome these, various ways can be taken to increase land productivity. In this way, it's hoped that from a narrow area, less production can be produced.
Sorry, Prof. Nur Hayati, maybe you can full screen.
Full screen?
Yes. Yeah, it's in the below.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Lil, tolong full screen. Sebentar ya.
Yeah.
Full screen, full screen. Oh. Okay. Hydroponics come from the Greek, namely hydro, which means water, and phonos, which means power. Hydroponics is also known as a solid culture or plant cultivation without soil. So hydroponic is a method of growing crops without using soil media, but using a nutrient of solution of minerals or other materials containing nutrients such a coconut fiber, mineral fiber, sand, bracts, set dust, and other as a substitute for soil media. Hydroponic plants can be done on a small scale at home as a hobby or on a large scale with commercial purpose. In the production process, proper planting media and growth regulators are needed to obtain good growth. The use of growth regulators plays a role in increasing the growth and production of vegetable crops. Plant regulatory substances or organic compounds that are not active plant nutrients in small amounts that are synthesized in certain parts of the plant and generally transport to other parts of the plant where the growth regulators can biochemical, physiological, and morphological respond. This research was conducted at Experimental Garden Greenhouse, Faculty of Agriculture, Islamic University. The design method used in the study was a factorial completely random design with factor 1 concentration of AB mix and solution consisting 3 levels, and factor 2 is concentration of GPT with 3 level, and observation parameters were plant height, number of leaves, leaf length, leaf width, wet weight, and dry weight. This result that relation of mustard plant height with ever mixed solution concentration. This is the higher the concentration of epimix is the taller of the plant. And the relation between the number of mustard leaves and the concentration epimix solution is the higher the concentration of the epimix is give the number leaves is small. And the relationship of mustard leaf length with epimix solution concentration is the higher the concentration of the epimix is the give the length leaf. And the relationship of mustard leaf width with proportion of AB mix solution concentration is the hectare of the concentration of the hormone is give the leaf weight, and this is average effect of concentration of AB mix solution and GPT on growth and production of mustard. And this is AB mix solution giving of GPT and interaction to treatment. And conclusion in this research, the concentration of AB mix solution is significantly affected plant height, number of leaf width, leaf length, with weight, and dry wick. The best concentration of AB mix solution is in level 2, and giving GPT has significant effect on leaf, and the best is concentration in level 2. The interaction of the concentration of AB mix solution and concentration GPT had no significant. This is the my presentation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Professor Nur Hayati, for your good presentation. Okay, we move to the next speaker, Nadia Amsalia. Nadia Amsalia.
Lila, ini kayak mana ininya? Menghilangkan itunya suara.
Nadia Amsalia. Are you already here? Okay, so we go to the next speaker, Nyak Amir. Mr. Nyak Amir.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Mr. Nyak Amir, you can present now. Professor Nur Hayati, you can stop share first. Stop share. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Nyak Amir. Okay, you can share. Oh yes, share your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much for the moderator for this great opportunity. Yeah. First of all, let's pray to Allah who has given us health and good opportunity, so we are able to attend to this media Zoom, and salawat and salam should be delivered to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, thank you very much for your attention and for your time. Today I would like to present our research, entitled Analysis of Lighting of a Football Stadium. This is conducted by Nyak Amir, Saifuddin, Mr. Muhammad, and me, Rian Maulana. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, one of the biggest reasons that inspired our team research to conduct this research is because Banda Aceh has the greatest stadium that called Harapan Bangsa Football Stadium and located in Nongraya, Banda Aceh, and its capacity is about 45,000 seats for the match in the evening, and Harapan Bangsa Football Stadium become the best choice for that. It should have been equipped with the state standard light bulb because humans need to obtain visual information about condition around them. And the purpose of this study is first to determine the intensity of the lighting and the spread of lighting. For the methodology, this research employ a qualitative descriptive approach using the type of evaluation research. The subject of the research was Harapan Bangsa Football Stadium Banda Aceh. Meanwhile, the instrument used to measure light intensity of the football stadium was a light meter tool. Yeah, the tool is like this, yeah, as shown in the slide. So, based on the result, we found some result. Yeah. First, after measuring 77 point of the lighting intensity in Harapan Bangsa Football Stadium Banda Aceh, yeah, they were found that the light intensity on the average was 341 lux. Yeah, like this is the measurement unit, yeah, for lighting. And then for the lighting spread, yeah, because football is a physical game that is always active on the movement. So the brightness condition will affect the player's eyes because different light receive of each players. From the research, we can conclude that the finding of the research showed that the lighting intensity of Harapan Bangsa Football Stadium was 341 lux. Yeah, it means that it was deficit, yeah, about 458.8 lux of the standard set by PT Liga Indonesia. PT Liga Indonesia already said for the standard lux is about 800 lux, and for the FIFA standard, it deficit about 1,659 of the standard. Yeah. So for lighting in the Harapan Bangsa Football Stadium spread unevenly. Yeah. So the lighting intensity descent of the stadium was 594 lux. Yeah. And the kind of light bulb used was mercury. Yeah. With and electric power need to support all of the lamp about 377.200 watt, and most of the light bulb were broken and expired. Yeah, because the maintenance of the light has not maximized yet. Okay, that's all for this presentation. Yeah, thank you for your attention.
Yes.
I return to the moderators.
Yeah, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Thank you, Mr. Rian Maulana. Yes, I will call again the previous speaker, Nadia Amsalia. Miss Nadia Amsalia, yes. Miss Nadia Amsalia. Hello? Yes. Okay, yes, the time is yours. Please present your research.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First of all, thank you for giving me times to speak in front of you all. My name is Nadia Amsalia. I am from the Department of Science. I will present about my research study on the effect of seawater speed on distribution of temperature and salinity patterns in the Bay of Bengal waters in February and August 2017. If you provide comment and suggestion, you can submit via email as result at unsyiah.ac.id. So introduction, some of the reason behind this in Bay of Bengal are spurred by some of the station we use. We know that Bay of Bengal is a bay in the northeastern part of the Indian Ocean, which is a triangular shape bordering Bangladesh. The country in the there is India and Andaman, the Andaman Sea on the east side. Bay of Bengal is one of the large bays in the world. This bay is shaped like semi-enclosed. The dynamic of the sea dominated by the monsoon season is the northeast season in the east season and southwest the west season. Current circulation in the North Indian Ocean is influenced by Indian monsoon current drift system, namely the northeast monsoon current or NMC in the east monsoon and the south monsoon current or SMC in the southwest monsoon. And distribution of temperature and salinity, which is influenced by rainfall or precipitation, evaporation, freshwater supply, and ocean current velocity. The west boundary current or WBC in the Bay of Bengal is characterized by eddy activity due to current instability. In the kinetic energy that produces the vortex is greater than that of any other ocean. Then what is interesting in the Bay of is the freshwater runoff to salinity conditions supplied by major rivers such as the Ganga, Brahmaputra, Irwandi, Meghna, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, and Kaveri by UNESCO 1988 and Vinaya Chandran 2013. Objective this research mapping of pattern of sea surface temperature and salinity and observing precipitation and evaporation condition to relate SST and SSS condition in the period February and August 2017. Research time and place. Time and location. The area for the research include the waters of Bay of Bengal with deep up to 3,000 meters, but because we examine the surface only, so we only study the area at a deep of 40 meters. Study review in February and August in 2017. Data research, the data we use or model data obtained from HICOM or Hybrid Coordinate Ocean Model and satellite radar topography mission for topography data. The European Center for Medium Range weather forecast for precipitation and evaporation data. And the device we use metric laboratory. Next, the research procedure. The procedure begin with study literature related to the area to be studied and look for other supporting data, then identification of the area and making a map of the research location, and then prepare data program and extraction of current temperature, salinity, precipitation, evaporation of data to MATLAB, metric laboratory, and then analyze the result and see the correlation and interpretation of data result conclusion. A condition of current direction and velocity. In February, surface geostrophic current ranged from 0.4 to 0.6 meter per second. In condition A, south direction of the turning current of with speed 0.5 to 0.6 meter per second. And condition B is a linear current direction pattern with speed 0.4 meter per second, and condition C show a turning current with speed of 0.3 meter per second. In August, surface current range from 0.4 to 0.8 meter per second. Anticyclone at coordinate 14 degrees north, 0.84 degree east, in west of the bay at speed with speed 0.3 meter per second. The geostrophic current in condition A average speed of 0.6 meter per second, a maximum current speed of 0.8 meter per second at 15 degree north, 0.183 degree east. The maximum current speed is about 0.77 meter per second at condition B. Condition C and D, the current flow from the south is about 1 meter per second. B, distribution of sea surface temperature. This picture shows distribution of SST. In February, this distribution of SST in the north of the bay was around 23 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees Celsius. SST in the south of the bay was around 27 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. The anticyclone vortex produced upwelling at 26 degrees Celsius. In August, the low distribution of SST is around 25 degrees Celsius. C, distribution of sea surface salinity. In February, the distribution of SSS in the north and northeast waters of Bengal was 29 to 32.5 PSU. High salinity covering the southwest and south water of the bay 33.5 to 34 PSU. The southern area of the bay has a salinity of 33.5 to 34 PSU. In August, the north is 20 to 31.5 PSU. Southwest and south of the bay are 33.5 to 34.5 PSU. D,
okay, sorry, Miss Nadia, it's almost finished the time.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can move to the conclusion or briefly explain the research.
Okay. Precipitation and evaporation. Precipitation to more dominant and conclusions. Since the first seasonal circulation patterns, the bay, the average seawater velocity is 0.4 to 0.6 meter per second, forming a counter-current pattern from the west boundary. In August, the average seawater velocity is 0.5 to 0.8 meter per second. The second, in February, distribution of SST is low and SSS is relatively high following the east monsoon's current pattern. In August, distribution of high SST and low SS followed the pattern of southwest monsoon condition. And third, SST and SSS variation with precipitation and evaporation conditions support each other. The negative value of evaporation is supported by high SST and high SSS is supported by negative values of evaporation and low SS by positive values of precipitation. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for attention.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nadia, for your interesting presentation. Yes, okay, we already heard about 3 speakers. Maybe, do you have any questions for our speakers? You can ask now directly. Yeah. The speakers are Prof. Nur Hayati, Miss Nadia, and Mr. Rian Maulana. Okay, any questions for them? Yeah, maybe we don't have any questions now, but we have more time. So I'll open the discussion, free discussion for all speakers. If you have questions, you can ask for all speakers. You can choose, up to you. Okay? Yeah. Okay, any questions for our speakers? Okay. Yeah, maybe we don't have any questions for this session. Okay, actually, all topic is very interesting. Thank you very much for all speakers, giving applause for our speakers. And so we are now at the end of the presentation session. And I would like to say thanks again for all the presenters for excellent presentation, and to audience for your participation. And hopefully the presentation will be beneficial for everybody. And also, don't forget to join next session with keynote speaker after break asar as a prayer. So the next session we have a keynote speaker, Dr. Morelia Urlau at 4:30 p.m. Okay, thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. Don't forget to join the next session. Thank you. Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, maybe we can, you can open the camera. Maybe we can take the photo before you leave this room. Yes. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, for the first. Wait a minute. The next slide. It's finished. Yeah, thank you very much for our speakers. Don't forget to join to the next session with our keynote speaker, Dr. Morelia. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.